Hello there folks, I'm Dan Brown from asortofinterestinlife.com. You're joining me on board a very cosy narrowboat Tilly that's so cosy and warm in fact that I've had to move slightly away from the fire because it was just too hot to stand directly in front of and witter away at the camera. But as it is getting on for 1 AM, I am very keen to keep this introduction piece very short indeed. So, the video you're about to see is not my normal sort of walking video. It's not set in a beautiful sunny environment and going up a hill to look across an amazing vista and look wistfully into the distance at amazing scenery and all that sort of stuff. Instead, this is a walk that me and a friend, also by the name of Dan, did after we'd been conspiring for a while to try and get the right day that we could actually meet up and not have one of us be in work, which didn't quite work out. And the day we ended up going out was a day that I was in work in the morning and early afternoon. So we set out for a walk on basically a late afternoon / early evening of a dull, rainy, overcast autumn day. And as you can imagine, that meant that before we'd even reached the furthest point of the walk, we were already in such pitch black, rainy, drizzly conditions that we had to have torches to just light up a plain flat field to make sure that we didn't stumble into anything terrible along the way. And really, it's not the sort of amazing scenery and all that sort of video. It's more of the little moments of life and the things that just get thrown up and occur almost randomly. I know I use that word far too much. Whether it's me, like earlier on tonight, the reason that I decided, yeah, I am going to make this video and put it together and do a little commentary was because I walked down to Chirk to get some supplies, a little village just over the border into Wales. And while I was there, I was having a drink of pop opposite the church and looking up at the church. I was there for the exact perfect moment that the church started to strike 10 for 10 PM. So of course you stood there looking up at the church and just hearing the bell ring out 10 times and you just think, that's the sort of moment that you can't catch on camera, and even if you could, you wouldn't be able to get the sort of feeling of the, oh yeah, we're going to head back down the road now, or down the towpath to a cosy little boat that should hopefully be nice and warm. And it's those little moments that, even though I do all of this YouTubing and put hours upon hours of videos out there, I still can't catch these little moments and ephemeral things that come up from, whether it's wildlife and birds in the trees and owls outside at night and that sort of thing, or whether it's these moments of meeting up with people and going off doing little things, doing little drives around in the dark at night and goodness knows what. And I just thought, you know what, it's not all about the perfect weather and amazing scenery of walking. As I've said in many times, it's just about getting out there. And on a walk like this where I had some excellent company, and as I said at the time, the fact we had so many unfinished conversations because we kept getting distracted by new things and different little bits of excitement shows that it was great, free-flowing, fast-moving, and oh yeah, what about this? Oh yeah, what about this? And it was just a great time. Anyway, let's stop me talking, let me get into bed and go to sleep and edit this video in the morning, and let's actually see some actual proper walking footage. This was our starting point, and not only that, this is also the brightest, clearest footage that you're pretty much going to see in all of this video, unfortunately. As you can see, it wasn't looking too bad, but if I say that sunset was already starting to happen somewhere above these clouds, then perhaps you'll understand why very soon we're going to be looking at some very dark footage and resorting to a few photos to illustrate points. But these are the fields that I've known for so long, leading up from Oswestry and heading up to a little place called the Racecourse. Once upon a time, these were the gates that led up to Old Llanforda Hall. Now, though, we hop over the classic stile to get up over the fence, and there's no grand mansion at the end of that track, unfortunately, anymore. But we'll get there very soon to see what exactly is there. But for now, let's just enjoy the actual experience of being out and about. Like I say, in these weather conditions, it's not about the amazing views or anything. It's just about enjoying the simple activity of walking and being active and getting a bit of fresh air and generally having a nice time outdoors. If you want to know what the scenery can look like from up here, then this is pretty much right from that spot. And as you can see, on a good day, and yes, that is even snow on the ground in the bottom right corner, it can be absolutely incredible. This, however, is what it actually looked like on that day, and that pond that you're looking at is just a flooded field rather than an actual pond, to sum up how the weather has been. Heading into those woods at the back of that pond, this is what it was like, and when I say about it being very low light conditions, as soon as we actually got into the woods and under the cover of the trees, you can see it got extremely dark very, very quickly. As we got through here, though, we were heading towards a little lake that's hidden away in the middle of it. I'm not sure if you're meant to go there or not, but it doesn't. It's not important for the matters of enjoying this video, I would say. When we got to the lake, we had one of those moments, though, where we got there just in time to see a heron, which was that bird flying off, get up and do a quick curving, sweeping incline up and away from this wonderful little misty lake. And how fantastic and brilliant is it to just be able to stumble across little moments of nature like that. Here are the two dams, which brings me nicely to the point that I really wanted to talk about in this, that when you're out walking with somebody who you actually like and have proper conversations with, it's fantastic. As you can see, I'm just going across a very rickety little bridge there, and we're getting to the ruins of the old hall here and having a look at some of the old derelict buildings and little pieces that nature has reclaimed. But being able to just go out walking, even when we were in the dark and couldn't see anything at all and it started raining, having good conversation and having a perfect sort of almost distraction-free backdrop to just talk about random things from all sorts of areas of life, and inevitably also then onto all sorts of abstract things, maybe weird science about the universe and the past and the present and the future and all sorts of random bits and pieces like that. All the sort of things that you would expect a Dan Brown walk to include. And really, when you've got that as your company and then this as your backdrop, just incredible nature winding its way through all old brickwork, and just look at something like this. This is obviously a gate and a door that's been rotting away for goodness knows how many years, like probably been on the rocks literally for the last 100 years plus. And you can see, like, goodness knows how long ago it was that somebody was nailing in those nails and rivets and putting all this together, and it's now been there long enough for a massive tree like that to grow up inside the building. And again, just a few random photos to wrap this little walk video up. You can see just how much building there once upon a time was there, and this is something that I really love. That's a little pulley system where once upon a time there would have been a bell to ring you to come inside for dinner or something of that nature. And you can see here how the trees are just lifting up all the brickwork and growing up all through it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this. I'll just cut to a little of a random walk and say if you've enjoyed this video, then please check out my other videos, as I've got some proper sort of big scenery going up hill walks and plenty of things like that, like what you're seeing on the screen right now. Until the next time, though, I'll say thank you very much for watching. Check out my other videos for all sorts of random bits and pieces from the outdoors and all sorts of living on a narrowboat videos and things like that. Feel free to like the Facebook page and even add me personally on Facebook and Twitter for loads of photos and updates from life on the canal. And until the next time, keep it boot-based and have a fantastic day. Farewell.